Welcome back to DT tutorial. In this video we are continuing with the quadratic equations, and here we are looking at a situation where c is equal to 0. Generally quadratic equation can be represented by as squared minus bx plus c is equal to 0. So there are situations whereby this c will not be given or maybe 0. So in situations like that, how would you solve? So this question is a typical example of this kind of situation. Solve the quadratic equation s squared minus 2x is equal to 0. So here c is not given. We only have this as squared and the bx, which is this. The c is missing. So this is a typical example of a situation whereby c is missing or c is equal to 0. So the question is solve the equation, the quadratic equation s squared minus 2x is equal to 0. So first of all, I will write out the equation, which is s squared minus 2x is equal to 0. So having written this, the next thing is just to factorize the expression, what you have here. So here I have s squared minus 2x open bracket close equal to 0. So what I would do here is to factorize this expression. So I have here s squared minus 2x. So what is common between these two expressions is x. So I'll bring that x out of the bracket, open a bracket. What will be left remaining is x, and what will be left here in this expression is minus 2 equal to 0. So x times s will give you s squared, x times minus 2 will give you minus 2x. So this expression and this expression, they are the same. So having done this, since it's a quadratic equation, you are going to have two answers, two roots. So my x now will be equal to 0, that is this x will be equal to this 0, or x minus 2, which is the one within this bracket, is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, that means x is equal to 0, or x, when this minus 2 goes to the other side of the equation, it becomes plus 2. So that would be equal to 0 plus 2. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 0 plus 2 will give you 2. So x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 2. This is the answer to this question. So to take us further, let's look at another example. I have here solve the quadratic equation 2f squared plus 3f is equal to 0. So the equation is 2f squared plus 3f is equal to 0. So just as I did in the previous example, the same thing I will also do here. So this is 2f squared plus 3f open bracket close is equal to 0. So what I will do is to factorize this expression by looking for the number or the alphabet that is common between these two expressions. So if you look at this, obviously what is common is f. So I will bring that f out of the equation, open a bracket for it. What will be left here is 2f plus what will be left here is 3 bracket close is equal to 0. So f times 2f will give you 2f squared, then f times 3 will give you 3f. So having done this, my f now will now be equal to 0, that is this f will be equal to this 0, or 2f plus 3 will be equal to 0. So having done this, f is equal to 0 or 2f. When this plus 3 goes to the other side of the equation, becomes minus 3. So that will be equal to 0 minus 3. So my f is equal to 0 or 2f is equal to 0 minus 3 will give you minus 3. So having done this, my f will now be equal to 0 or, so to make f the subject of the formula, I will divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of f, which is 2. So my f will now be equal to minus 3 all over 2. So f is equal to 0 or f is equal to minus 3 all over 2. So this is the answer to this equation.